just to bring you
Top of the morning from beautiful downtown Baltimore.
Robinson,
Okay.
anything you want to shout out? Vote for women. Vote for women.
Women in elected offices.
Women in elected offices.
Keep corruption out of Annapolis and Baltimore City. Women should run.
Vote for good women. Good women.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. If I may have your attention, please come forward. Or find yourselves a comfortable place to stay. Because we understand that your time is precious and our time is precious, we would like to begin the program. It is an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to welcome you to this most exciting first, a unique Women's Heritage Center, the first in the country of this kind, which will put Maryland on the map for recognizing that if we add her story to his story, we then have our story. That's quoting Jill Greenberg. I am delighted to greet you this morning, to welcome you here. We are as excited, or more excited than you are. This is really 25 years in the making. From the time that the Maryland Commission for Women understood that women had not been written into history, but rather left out of history, that it was time to bring Maryland women particularly into the fore so that all of us would understand what a rich heritage we have and what a remarkable state we have, because women have prospered and done very well in Maryland, but they were unknown heroines. And now we hope as you walk around and look at the names and read the stories and identify these people with something in your past or your history, you'll recognize how fortunate we all are. My name is Shoshana Cardin, and I'm a member of the Executive Committee and Board of the Maryland Women's Heritage. This effort took place because hundreds, literally hundreds of volunteers were willing to offer their time, their resources, their assistance into making the facility available. Mr. David Hillman, from whom you will hear later, made the facility available for us to come. This is our, we call it our first home. This is not our permanent home, but our first home, and we hope to grow to a larger home where all of you can have an opportunity to look even further and learn even more. I want to thank all of those who are on the Maryland Women's Heritage Center board, honorary board officers. If you'll please raise your hands, because otherwise we can't identify you. You will see how many are here. See how many are here. It is because of their commitment, their dream, and their determination to make this dream a reality that we're here today. So we are indebted to all of you for bringing us to this glorious, glorious day. I want to recognize those who have already been inducted into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame, as well as the unsung heroines. Some of them you will see along the walls, but some of them are here today. So those of you who have already been inducted into the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame, please raise your hands so we can honor and thank you.
beautiful.
In addition to those who will be speaking to you, and speaking briefly, I promise, because so many are standing, I would like to have you join me in thanking the following for coming. Senator Jenny Forehand, Delegate Shirley Nathan Pulliam. I do not see State Treasurer Nancy Kopp, but she's scheduled to be here. Councilwoman Ricky Spector, who is up front. Councilwoman Agnes Welsh, and notice of title chairwoman of the Piscataway-Conway Tribe. I further wish to acknowledge those who are representing our legislators. Many have brought proclamations, citations, and resolutions, which you will see later. They're to my left. And I would like to now have them identify themselves. Yolanda Winkler, representing Governor Martin O'Malley. Yolanda? Myra Blanchard and Carla Nelson, representing Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake. Ann Beagle and Phyllis Panopoulos, representing Baltimore County Executive Jim Smith. Betsy Bossart, representing Representative Steny Hoyer. Kristen Soper and Val Twamo, representing Senator Barbara Mikulski. And Heather Campbell, representing Senator Ben Cardin. And Salinas Mendy Singleton, who is representing Congresswoman Donna Edwards. There's Selena. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you a great lady, the president of the Maryland Women's Heritage Center, the great, the gracious, the remarkable Frances Montgomery.
Good morning. Good morning. Now, can I ask you all to come on down a little bit? This is a celebration. There's no need to stand back.
That's right.
We really don't bite. I know we're persistent, and I know we fight for what we believe in. But this is a day of celebration.
That's right.
Please come on down.
Come on down.
Thank you so much, Shoshona Cardin. Listen, I want to tell you, we are blessed to have this amazing woman here in this Shoshona has done so much for our state, but she's actually done a great deal for our nation and internationally, and we are blessed to have, we've got her. When other people have said, you know, we kind of try to own her too, I said, she's ours. She is a homegirl.
Yeah.
Yes, she is our homegirl. I am thrilled to be here today. I can't tell you so many years, we talked about 25 years, but I know Jill and I, where's Jill? Our first discussion specifically, concretely, was about 12 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
When I was First Lady of the state. And so today, you know, we women, it may take us a little while, but we do not give up. We persevere. And I am telling you, today is evidence that, look at this amazing place. Isn't it so really
Full of house.
motivating and
Very
inspiring?
good.
Neisman once wrote that dreams pass into the reality of action, and from this action's, this interdependence springs the dream again. And this kind of living, this produces the highest form of living. Interdependence springs the dream again. And this kind of living, this produces the highest form of living. It does. Dreams pass in to the reality of action. From this action springs the dream again. And this form of living, this interdependence, produces the highest form of living. This, today, is evidence of that. It's coming in today and seeing all of you and know what we've done, so many people. This is the highest form of living. Thank you all so much. This center is dedicated to honoring the contributions of Maryland women and girls by preserving the past, understanding the present, and shaping the future. We do this through recognition, respect, very important, education, extremely important, and action about the experiences, achievements, needs, and hopes. And I've seen some young people here, some very young Marylanders here today. And one who just graduated from college, I know where she is. I just saw her a few minutes as well. So we have all ages, from very, very young to not quite so young, here, women and men. And I think that the hopes are as important, the hopes and dreams are as important as the achievements. And I think that's what we have to remember. This center is a living place. Certainly it is for our heritage what's come before us. But the actions that we are today actually engaging in, and the things that will come in the future, are even as important. This center is an outgrowth of Maryland, the Maryland Women's History Project, which began in 1980. And it was a collaborative venture between the Maryland Commission for Women and the Maryland State Department of Education. It houses the Maryland Women's Hall of Fame and enables those young, and as I said, not so young, boys, girls, men, and women to come and learn about the contributions and accomplishments of renowned Maryland women and girls, as well as those who are not quite as renowned, all of whom have shaped our families and our communities, all of whom have made contributions to our social, political, and economic order. I want to thank the historic portrayers that have joined us for this special opening. Shindana Cooper, where are you, dear? Who is portraying a slave, a woman slave. Kate Campbell Stevenson, who is Rachel Carson, of course. Yay. Ellie Elgin, who is portraying Mary Young Pickersgill. Yes, Now, as you arrived today, you probably saw the A&T car sitting out front.
Yeah, what was that?
With Julia Drzavet in there. What is that doing here?
Right.
Well, she was portraying the well-known female suffragist, Edith Houghton Hooker.
Oh, really?
Now, Edith was the editor of the Maryland Suffrage News and is one of the many women to be highlighted here.
Really?
Now, ironically, we learned after we had announced that we would be opening here, we learned that Edith actually in 1910, in July of 1910, Edith conducted an open-air meeting right here at this very corner, asking Marylanders, all Marylanders, to support women's suffrage. What is more appropriate? Sometimes the universe has a way, doesn't it? Yeah. It was meant to be. We tried so many other places. I know we looked a lot of other places, but it was meant to be here. And we also, I'm going to ask Jill Moss-Greenberg to come up, but I want to tell you that sometimes you have a little help. The universe helps you. Ron Kreitner, where are you, Ron? From West Side Renaissance. Who connected us with Mr. David Hillman, who is our benefactor here. Of course, he's also the president of Southern. We like to think of him as our benefactor, but he actually does have a business. You know, he's the president of Southern Management Corporation, and he has graciously donated this space. That just goes to show there are hundreds of people like that, hundreds of connections like that, to bring us to this day. And I'm going to ask my longtime friend, I'm not saying exactly how long, and colleague, really the person who, this is her inspiration, her motivation, and we've all the dream. Please give the warmest welcome to my longtime friend, Jill Moss-Greenberg. We'll do it together. Yeah. All right, because we already gave him a hug, but I think he wants more than a hug.
We already have a plaque.
Yes, we have a platform and everything because this has made a reality for us. You have been amazing. Thank you so much. Yes, you gotta come on up.
David Hillman only asked us for two things when he donated this wonderful space. He asked us that all we could do, is have some acknowledgement of the building and of the Southern Management of him. So we have a plaque, which we have given to him, but it's actually hung by the door. You'll see it to the right of the door when you go out.
That's nice.
Okay, and we asked him, we understood he was donating the space, but we were to pay utilities, and I asked him about how do we do that? Do we have a separate meter or something? He said, oh, there are utilities all around, just use them. So you couldn't have a better benefactor than that.
That's right, beautiful.
I don't know if you want to say a couple of words or not.
Well, if I knew I was going to speak, I wouldn't have come.
His actions
Good morning, ladies and others of my side of the species. On behalf of Southern Management, we're really happy to do this, and I think it's a great use of the space. And you know, I'm a firstborn American, and as most of you know, in immigrant families, the women were very, very strong. So my mother and my grandmother always taught me to keep a low profile, but if they were here today, they would tell me it's all right, you know, pro. So we're just very happy to do this, and we wish you the greatest success, and this is going to be a great place.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you. This has been a dream for a long time, but for many years, at least 30 years, I've shared this dream with a very close associate who doesn't have the title of executive director, but has in every other way been co-director, and I want to invite Linda Shevitz to come up here with me. But we need to share this together. And so many of you have been there from way back when this seemed impossible. You know, I hope that we are the very first state to create a center like this.
Beautiful.
This is another one in a long line of firsts for our beautiful state and of Maryland, and we're so proud of this. Some states have women's centers, some have halls of fame, some have heritage trails. We have them all combined and integrated, and honoring, as Francie Glendenning said, not just the women in the Hall of Fame who are very renowned, but the unsung heroines who are in each of our families, our communities, our workplaces, and our lives, who have made all the difference for each of us. We all have unsung heroines that you can think of. The person who was here from WBAL pulled out from his wallet the picture of his grandmother, who's 101 years old.
Wow.
And he said this is his unsung heroine, and he's going to write something up for her. So we encourage you. All of those stories over there are about unsung heroines that Marylanders have submitted. These people are as important as anyone who's famous and world known to each of us. It's the mothers and the grandmothers and the sisters and the spouses and the daughters and the aunts and the first grade teachers and the crossing guards and the volunteers in our schools and hospitals and so forth who've been the people. And sometimes when we ask children who are their unsung heroines, they'll talk about the custodian in their school, who's the only one who's listened to them, pays attention to them. It's every level of work that defies any title but shares the humanity that each of these people has, and that's what's most important, and we're honoring that here today. And forever, we hope. This is our beginning. This is our launching place. I want to, in addition to David Hillman, to recognize our all-female architect team, which is here, I believe. Diane Cho was here. She should be here. Not here. And Anat Renan, and our primary architect who has designed all this with their input and every step of the way, Ann Dutton. And I have to say, just right before Ron Kreitner introduced us to David Hillman, Diane Cho met with Ron Kreitner with us. And it was her husband, David, who said there must be some philanthropic person who would want to donate space for this cause. And therefore, we also owe a tribute and a debt to David Ben as well. So Diane, please convey that to him. We want to also recognize our construction team. And is Kelly Stockton here? Yeah. Kelly, raise your hand, please. Okay. Her company, thanks to Kathy Wilmot on our board, who's been incredible. The Lewis contractors actually donated Kelly's time to manage the entire project. So we have a woman project manager as well, and she's been incredible. But I have to say, and I hope he's back there. Tommy, are you back there? Is Tommy back there? He's waving. Okay. Tommy has been our right and left hands in terms of the construction, and he's really been so supportive of what our mission is. And we can not thank him enough, from early morning to staying late to hanging things late last night in the bathrooms and whatever. He's just been amazing and adapting on everything. We also want to just thank all the people on the committees and our boards. The board of director members have red stars on their name tags, so you'll recognize them and you can ask them questions and thank them. After we finish the formal program, we'll have our historic enactors over near their sections to help tell you more. And I see Rachel Carson looking at me now and telling me to use my microphone better. And we want to acknowledge also the organizations that have been the primary support. The Maryland State Department of Education, the Maryland State Commission for Women, and all the local commissions for women in the state of Maryland. And the women legislators of the Maryland General Assembly, who have been our staunch supporters. And because of their support, truly, and at the time we got our first funding, the First Lady Kendall Ehrlich also helped then, we were able to get some money from the State Department of Planning to help us plan this and work on it. And so we're very appreciative of that support. And the women legislators and the Commission for Women began the Hall of Fame in 1985. So that's been going on, but it never had a home before.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This is its first home. Okay. We have other people here from all of our partner groups, the Girl Scouts, the Chamber of Commerce, all are here. Please interact with each other. Everyone said we didn't need name tags. We said we do, because you'll recognize names. We appreciate what each one of you has done and will do. The timeline that you're seeing here of adding her story to history to tell our story, the topic of it will change every few months. So right now, we wanted to start with Generations for Justice, because women have been in the leadership of every movement for justice in the United States and in the world. And we wanted to acknowledge that first, because it's so important for every human being. And we will then, in a few months, change to a different topic, so you have another reason to come back. This will be the site for programs, events, community meetings to learn about, analyze, take action on issues that emerge, such as with our partners from the Maryland Network Against Domestic Violence, who are here today also. And we have student learning centers and programs and performances and meetings. So please come back often, lend your support. We will need it in many ways, and we want you here and to bring others here. The last thing we wanted to say is that there'll be a few events happening here during the month of June already, starting. Our public grand opening will be Saturday, June 19th. So please bring your families back, bring your friends. This was invitational, and all of you were specially invited because of your connection to the center. We would also be having docent training. And so any of you who'd like to volunteer and be docents for the center, which we will need as we have visitors come, we'll be conducting that training in the beginning of June.